Starting our adventure on the Black River Trail. I'm not walking my bike. I'm an adult. I can look to see that there are no school buses that are going to run me over. This trail runs along the Black River. Where we're entering right here would probably be right about where the island is if we were to continue going south. But you're not allowed over there. That's considered city property. It was nice of them to put this in. Okay. We wanted to do this before. We're supposed to get rain this evening at around 5 or 6. It'll probably, depending on how hard it rains, how much wind blows, a lot of the leaves will get knocked off the trees. So this is where, yeah, where we get to see most of the color. And I don't know how it's going to look. We're just filming. Okay. We'll film mostly when we go across the bridges and stuff. Interesting parts. At the end of this section, to the right, is the old landfill. When we were younger kids, we'd go there on our bicycles and search around in the piles and find old Playboy magazines. Alright, we left Lorain and we're entering Sheffield now. There's the nice bridge. A lot of this was paid for by the steel mill. I think it was part of what they had to do for pleading no contest to what they did with some of their spillage when it would rain a lot. And they would have tanks and levees that would overflow and go into the river. I don't know for sure because I wasn't living here then, but I know that there was a lot that was done about some of the polluting that was done. Oh, yeah. Let me stop here. I'm going to try to film this. This would have been. We're approaching the bend, and it's hard to see through the trees. I don't want to take the camera off. But this was the benching that I had talked about when I was on the boat. It's kind of there's the rolling mills, the big buildings, if you can see them. Those are the rolling mills where they take the steel to make bar, stock, and tubing and so forth. But all of this was nothing but fly ash and slag that was piled up here, and they terraced it and planted it all with grass. When there's no leaves on the trees, you can really see it really well. Well, you can see here again, it's far off and with this camera, but there's just a little V where the tall trees are there that are just in front of the blast furnaces, and that's the logs that are down at the bottom. That's where I was tied up. And this is a private marina. In fact, we're on private property right here. And they have a road that goes down and a little marina. It's a long way From here it's a long way out to the lake, but probably less money and very private, and usually quite calm. And again, those are the rolling mills back in there. And this is where they benched all of this. I guess it's really hard to see how much work they've done if you didn't know what it looked like before. Another bridge. This is a steel bridge that was donated by a steel mill. It goes over French Creek that empties into the Black River right at that bend where the Marina is. And again, the trail is here for use, but it's private property on both sides. And we're off the road enough now we don't hear the traffic as much. But this is really nice, and it goes all the way to the lake at Century Park over by my house. Really pretty here. We have a kayak launch area. It's up ahead. I've never used it. It's designed for folks with disabilities too. I've never been able to figure out how to put a wooden kayak in there. Plastic one maybe, but it's all surrounded by rocks. Should have left it natural. So again, I'm leaving the camera on the bike, so I have to dismount anything. But here's the 90-degree bend in the Black River. It now heads south. And I've taken the trail. You have to go across some highways, but I've taken the trail all the way to Planet Fitness in Elyria, worked out, and then ridden back. And that's the steel bridge that we'll ride across next, and there's going to be another great big one that will come up about half to 3/4 of a mile up. There's old trade trestles that aren't used anymore. But you can see a steel mill is a huge proposition. There's a lot of land. And this end is United States Steel. I did see Republic Steel advertising. They're hiring. Never saw signs by the side of the road, Republic Steel hiring. You'd never see that. U.S. Steel, as far as I know, is shut down. Okay, now we're going across the steel bridge I just showed. This is not cheap putting these in. You're up probably 75 feet. And this is a main tributary of the French Creek that drains into the Black River. This is one of the first bridges that went in. And that goes over to James Day Park, the road, French Creek Road. This is an area where you have steel mill property on both sides. They did a lot of slag dumping to the left. Jim Garber and I, when we were kids, I never played with him that much, but he said, "Come on over." And he had all these pop bottles and rags and a gallon of gasoline. And we did nothing but throw Molotov cocktails all afternoon in the slag pits. I was amazed that we didn't catch on fire and nobody called the police. I I would never do something like that by myself. It took bad influence. Some of this slag has been here for 50 years, more than that. It's decomposed. These people coming out with their electric bikes and they're pedaling, but they don't have to pedal. That one was kind of cool. It was like a motorcycle chopper with leather saddlebags. He's got his black suede jacket on with the fringe. So I think we've ridden 3.5 miles. Maybe more, 4.5. This gives a better idea. When they initially dumped this slag, it's what comes off of the top of the ladles when they come off of the blast furnace. We used to watch at night. If you were lucky enough and you drove at the right time, you'd see them doing the dumping over by the 21st Street Bridge. Pretty impressive.